Yeah.
Although I did read an incredible piece on Gawker from May, I hate to say this, about Donald Trump's hair, where they were investigating whether or not Donald Trump's hair is a very expensive weave.
I read it, and they had like a diagram of showing how it like veers around, and like that there's an office in Trump Tower that is something that
does that. It's one floor below his, and the office doesn't have a website anymore, and they've been doing this procedure for like a long time.
Yeah,
and it's like they take a hair. And then they find whatever hairs you have, and they sort of tie this hair onto your hair.
Yeah.
Like one hair at a time. And it's like some crazy 8-hour procedure.
Yeah.
And the speculation is that the entire business revolves around maintaining his hair in that manner now.
As someone who
is bald.
Thank you. I was going to try to do something follically challenged or
hair transplants. I went the
full
route.
You did. Yeah,
I have
years
a
ago.
big smile scar in the back of my head from...
You let them chop out a piece of the back of your head, and they tried to put it up front.
Yeah, the way I describe it is like they take some people that are really healthy and they move them into a neighborhood where everyone's dying.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, I was, when I did it, I was in my late 20s, and I was just on television, and I was panicking because my hair was falling out. I was like, oh my God, my career is just getting started, and I'm going to lose it all, because I was thinking probably correctly, that a lot of my success is predicated on my appearance. And I was like, if this goes, like if I go bald, I'm fucked. Yeah. No one had shaved heads back then in the 90s either. If they did, it was very rare. And so I went through all this, but it helped. It definitely gave me like thicker hair, but it was too much work, and eventually I realized like it's so pointless. And then when I shaved my head, it was like the most freeing feeling.
Yeah,
I was like, I like it better like this. If I had hair right now, I'd fucking shave it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm holding ground, and
you look great. Your hair looks wonderful. Don't go hard on your hair.
But I used to have hair over here. That's what happens as you age. Yeah. But I know for sure there were times in my life when I was very stressed, and I'm not kidding you. I could feel it. Could you feel it when you were losing hair? Could you feel it at times
coming out?
Yeah, almost like a, not literally like each individual thing, but almost like I could feel my tension there, basically.
Oh no!
And
maybe that was just psychological.
Yeah, maybe
your hair is completely connected to your emotions. Maybe you're one of those.
This is why I don't smoke pot anymore, because that's what I would think about. I'd smoke pot and go, "Wait a minute, what's going on up there?"
Really?
Kind of.
Yeah, that's the rub on the pot, right? Yeah, whatever's fucking with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Just comes to the surface.
That's why I like the sativa, the indica.
I like pot for that reason, though. I want to know what's fucking with me.
Yeah, I don't want to know.
It's like that old joke that Kinnison used to have about. They say every man's got a homosexual fantasy. He goes, well, I'm sitting around the other day going through my fantasies, because if there's one in there, I want to know. I want to know about it.
Yeah. Did you find yours?
I didn't have one. Yeah? I looked. It's not in there. I'm so sorry for your people. Yeah. So when you see, as someone that has shaved, that feels good about it, as you said, it's like a burden off you. I tell people all the time, if dudes are struggling, I'm like, just shave your fucking head.
So then doesn't Trump seem doubly ridiculous to you in a certain way?
Well, he's more than doubly ridiculous. He's ridiculous in a million different ways.
But just on the hair front, really. I mean, that's cliche, so we don't have to spend too much time talking about it. But doesn't that, like as someone who shaved your head, you feel good about it, that he does this thing, this whatever the fuck
concoction.
It is. He always says it's my hair, which is sort of a cop-out, because they're probably doing something. If
you buy hair, it's still your hair.
Yeah. But doesn't it seem doubly ridiculous then to someone like you, like knowing that you shaved and you feel good and life goes on?
But I get it from a psychological standpoint. I get it also as a person who likes to have control over their life. Like you feel like that's one thing that really freaks people out about their hair. But it's like features and appearance is very bizarre, right? Because I know this woman who recently got a nose job. And she was beautiful, and she decided that she didn't like her nose, and she got like a little bit trimmed off. It's kind of crazy, right? Yeah. But there's a weird thing where people decide that if my nose was 1/8 of a millimeter smaller, I would feel better about myself. I would feel better about my appearance. But I've met people that have big noses. No, she doesn't look any better. She looked great before. She looks great now. It's just a weird thing that people do. They fixate. But what I was going to get at is, it's really strange, like what we decide looks good, and that it's cultural in a lot of ways. Yeah. Because if you go to some, like, how about those, I think it's Suri women who decide they put those giant plates in their lips. Yeah. And the bigger the plate, the more cattle they're worth when they get married. There's like fucking really bizarre cultures. And it's an example of how human beings when isolated for whatever reason, I mean, there's scarification rituals that many cultures go through, where they'll cut pieces out of their skin to look like crocodiles. Have you ever seen that, where they do their backs?
No.
Men do it. Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, they cut these chunks out of their back, and then they develop these keloid scars that pop up, and they see if you can find that, Jamie. Men with crocodile scarring, but there's so many different scarification rituals, and look at me, I'm covered in tattoos. There's like weird things that people do to their body and weird appearances that people choose to enjoy or not enjoy, and it just gets very bizarre. Like, what the fuck is hair? Like, why is hair? Here it is. See that guy's back?
Oh man! Oh, I have seen that.
Isn't it crazy?
Jeez.
Yeah, and they cover their entire back with this, that it makes it look like a crocodile skin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Joy Behar used to say a phrase on The View. Dare I quote The View? But Joy Behar used to say something that I always thought was great, and it was really simple. She used to say it's an inside job. That everything really is just an inside job. So if you're walking around, your friend's walking around, and she thinks that this little, beautiful woman, but she thinks this little millimeter, it bothers her for some reason. It's an inside job. Now, she may still have that same insecurity after, or maybe she exercised it, or maybe it actually did do what it was supposed to do. But most of us are walking around. The shit that we're walking around with is just an inside job. And it's your job as a human to exercise that stuff. And that's, I mean, I try to do it every day. That's what trying to get better is all about. And we fail at it constantly. I fail every day.
But there's also like a certain amount of you that should be upset with the way you look, so that you force yourself to go to the gym, and it keeps you healthy.